All right, let's dive right in. We've spent the last few days exploring what lights you up, what you're naturally built for. But today, we've got to talk about that quiet, sneaky force in the background that fights against all of it, your limiting beliefs.
Yeah. Does that sound familiar? It's one of those lines that just seems to play on a loop inside our heads. And the tricky thing is, it sounds like a fact. It feels true. But it's actually something else entirely. It's a script.
And these scripts, well, they have very real consequences. They create what you could call the self-sabotage loop. So first, let's really get into the painful symptoms, those common lines that always seem to show up right when you're on the very edge of growth. And the wild thing is just how familiar these are, right? They're basically the greatest hits of our inner critic. These phrases feel so deeply personal, but they are incredibly common scripts that our minds run to keep us safe inside our comfort zone. So how does all this internal chatter actually show up in the real world? Well, it looks a lot like this. You say no to a fantastic opportunity because that little script whispers, "I'll just fail anyway." Or maybe you pull back from someone you really care about because another script is warning, they'll just leave eventually. It's not just about your thoughts, it's about your actions. Or more often than not, your inaction. And the cost of this, it's huge. When you're stuck in this cycle, your life stops feeling like a journey moving forward, and it starts to feel like a loop you can't escape. You end up spending all your energy just reinforcing an old identity, the one who always messes things up, instead of actually getting to explore who you're becoming. So, how in the world do we break this loop? We need a totally new way to look at the problem, a central metaphor that can completely shift your perspective. So let's start thinking of your beliefs as code. I want you to imagine your entire inner world, all your thoughts, your patterns, your beliefs, as a kind of inner architecture. This image here captures it perfectly. It's not some mysterious, unchangeable void inside of you. No, it's a structure. It has blueprints. And if you're the architect, that means you can understand it and you can renovate it. Okay, so within this architecture, limiting beliefs are basically like faulty code. They're these invisible scripts that are just constantly running in the background of your operating system. And here's the most crucial part. They were usually written a long, long time ago, often in moments of pain or survival, all in an effort to protect you. And this is exactly what that code looks like in practice. It runs on this really simple if-then logic. If I try something new, then I'm going to fail. If I open up to someone, then I'm going to get hurt. This code runs completely automatically, triggering a reaction before you even have a chance to consciously think about it. It's an old program that was designed for a totally different time. So when you hit that same wall over and over and over, that pain you're feeling, it is not a verdict on your worth. It is not telling you that you are fundamentally broken or defective. It's a warning signal. It's an alert from your system that's basically saying, hey, this code is outdated. It's time for an update. Okay, so if it's just outdated code, that means we can update it, right? So let's get practical. How do you actually start to rewrite these deep, invisible scripts? Well, it all starts with making them visible. The very first step is to become a detective of your own thoughts. Seriously, grab a journal, find a quiet spot, and just ask yourself this one simple question. Listen for the exact phrases that pop up when you mess up or when you're thinking about trying something new or even when you just feel unsure. And write them down, raw and unfiltered. Now, once you have one of those beliefs written down, you can start to deconstruct it with these 3 questions. First, you trace its origin story. Where did it come from? Second, you interrogate its truth. Is it really 100% true right now in this moment? Or is it just an old story? And third, and this is the most important part, you get to consciously choose a new belief to practice instead. Let's look at a real example so you can see how this works. Say the limiting belief is, I always mess things up. Okay, where'd that come from? Maybe from a critical parent. Now, is it actually true today? No. As an adult, you can probably find tons of evidence to the contrary. So what's the new code? Something like, I'm human, I make mistakes, and I've shown I can learn and repair. See that difference? It's not about fake positivity. It's about finding a more truthful, compassionate, and aligned belief. So what happens when you start doing this work consistently? What does life actually start to feel like when you begin operating from new, updated code? Let's talk about that. Honestly, the biggest shift is moving away from self-judgment and towards self-curiosity. So instead of beating yourself up with, ugh, I'm so negative, you start asking questions like, wait a second, is this belief even mine?
or did I just inherit it from someone else? That shift right there takes away all the shame and gives you back your power. And you should know, this work takes real courage. You're not just changing a thought, you're challenging an old survival rule that once felt absolutely essential. It's about honoring that the old code had a purpose. It was trying to keep you safe. But you also get to recognize, with courage, that now it's just keeping you small, and you are absolutely allowed to update it. And this slide illustrates the rewards so brilliantly. When you practice the new code, you start to notice real, tangible changes. You'll hesitate less. You'll bounce back from mistakes way faster. You'll experiment more. You'll trust more. You'll take up more space. You don't become a different person. You just become more aligned with the person you already are, right now. But here's a crucial point. This is not a magic wand. That old code is a deeply worn path in your brain. It's going to try to run again, especially when you're stressed or tired. Your job is just to be patient with yourself and to be resilient. Every single time you notice the old code and consciously choose the new one, you're strengthening a new pathway. It's a gradual reprogramming. So let's end on this powerful idea. Your beliefs are not a life sentence that you have to serve. They're just lines of code. And you are the programmer now. You have the power to see the code, to question it, and to rewrite it. So the only question left is, what will you rewrite first?